We're going to learn this little blues finger picking style thing today. I'll just demonstrate it. Okay, so it's quite fun. I know a lot of people have wanted to do like a little bluesy thing and keeping the bass thing going. So this is quite nice because we're only ever keeping just one note sustained. So there's nothing fancy happening with the bass in this. So it's just keeping a steady thing there while you're doing some little bluesy riffs. Now you'll probably recognise a riff. It is kind of a famous riff. But rather than it just repeating round with the one riff, I just turned it into a 12-bar blues where it goes around the chord sequence of a normal blues. So I've just modified it a bit, put a little fancy little intro in there. So I'm just going to share screen with you now so you can see what happens at the start here. So we've got this little run here. So what's happening is we're going to start on the 3rd string. And you're going to do a 2 to 4 slide. Now if you look at the 2, it's very tiny, which means it's you're hardly like dwelling on it. So if I was to do it slow, 2 to 4, you'd have a bigger 2, but because it's so tiny, you're not even listening to the 2. So it goes, and then what happens there is you play the 0 and 0, so the 1st string and the 2nd string. So and then you do the same on, let me just take it over here. So you move to the 3rd fret now on the same string. If I zoom in, I can just isolate that. And then you go to the 3rd string. And then you do the same on the 2nd string there. So that finger's just moving on that 3rd string, so it goes. Then what happens is you're going to hit all the zeros, these 3 zeros, you're going to pinch them, and you're just going to hammer on the 3rd string on that 1st fret. So you got. I'm just going to put that on there again. So there you go. And what happens is then you go to the 5th string and you go 0, 1, and then you go to the 2, but then you place a B7 sharp 9 chord. So a lot of people know that as the Jimi Hendrix chord. That's actually called an E7 sharp 9, but you can place that anywhere on the fretboard. If you put the root on the B, it becomes a B7 sharp 9. So I think I've got a little chord box here I can show you. I think it's only right-handed as well, so sorry for any lefties there. So you got your 1st finger on the 4th string up, 1st fret, 2nd finger above it on the 5th string on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger is on the 3rd string on parallel to this 2nd finger, and your 4th finger's on the next fret across there. So going back to that little intro bit there, so you got, and then you got the 3rd fret on the top string, just a little half bend. So a half bend's got to sound like the next fret across. So I'm going to place that intro on again there. Here we go. So it goes. So I'll do it again. So a bit quicker. So what I'm doing there, I'm allocating one finger to one string there, so my thumb here, and then my 2 fingers here, so you can get around them strings a bit easier. Okay, so looking at the start of this groove, which is in blues of E, you can see that the 6th string here is pretty static on that 0. And that's just playing straight crotchet. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just keeping that down for a good while. If you can see, if I show you on the next 2 bars, 2 lines, sorry, you can see that 0 going all the way there and all the way on the next line. So you're keeping that thumb going there. So what's happening first is you play the first beat with just a 0 on the 6th string, and then you're going to pinch the 1st and 2nd string as 0s with the top string. So, and then you're going to place this on the 3rd fret. Or you could use 2 fingers if you want. So, and then you got a 0 there. So it goes. So the 0 on its own at the end. And what happens is you've got a 2 to 4 slide on the 3rd string. And what I'm doing is I'm not going 2 to 4 and then picking the 4. I'm just going. But by the time that gets to the 4, if you can see, by the time it reaches the 4th while it's slid up, you hit the 0 at the point of impact. So you're not hitting this 4. That 4 just gets there, but then you're hitting the 0. So it's like. So that can be a bit strange to really. You just need to practice that. So 2 to 4. When it hits the 4, you hit the top string there. So you got. And I'm using my 2nd finger to do that slide because you need your 1st finger to hit that 3. And then you go back to the 4 there, but you hit the root with it. So you got. So. And then you go to the 2nd fret, hitting the 0 with it. And take your finger off to hit the open 0. And then 2 on the 4th string there with the 0 above. So you got. Okay, so that's it pretty much. That's the bulk of the main part of the song. So if you play it how I've taught it, you'll notice that this 0 just is constantly on the strong beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so when you see like this 0 in between, that's on the and beat. So it'll go 4, 3 and 4. So that's 0 there. So that does it again, but something slightly different happens at the end here. I'm just going to show you what that is. So you've got a couple of things here. I'll show you this first, where it's playing the 5th fret, and you're plucking the 0 below it, so on the 1st and 2nd string. So they're the same note, and you're plucking your thumb with it. And what happens is you've got a little 3 that slides to that, so it goes. So you don't really want to hear the 3, you just want to slide it straight to that 5. So, and then a 0. So placing that on the end of here, I'll play it nice and slow. So you got that 2-4 slide. So you really got to hook that finger around so you don't catch that E string. That's it. So putting them two together, ending on that 0. So what happens is, I'm not going to play it, but it does it twice round that. Okay, that's the first part. Then we're going to like an A7 bit, which I'm going to play to you first. Okay, so it's a nice little fiddly thing happening there. So you can see that your root now moves to the A string, so the 5th string up, constantly on the quavers, on the crotchets. So here you have on the second beat, you have the 2nd on the 2nd string and the 3rd fret on the 1st string there. So you get this little shape. So you go root, and then you pinch all 3 together. And on the next beat, you move that 3rd fret down to the 2nd, so both of these are on the 2nd fret with the root. And then you play an open 0. So you could just take that 2nd finger off and play the 0. So, and then the root. So, and then it goes to the 3, 2 and 3. So, and what I've got here is your first finger should just flatten on this 2nd fret here, and you pinch all them 3. So you got bending the 3 and hitting that, so you got. Okay, and then it plays sort of like the first part of it here, which is so. I'm going to put that together with the other bit we just done, so it's. And then you got this little blues riff that I just made up before this video, which is a pretty standard. So you slide in from the 2 to the 4 on the 3rd string using your 2nd finger, and then you hit the 3, and then you go from the 4 to the 2. So to get the slide, you've got to keep the pressure down, and then the 0 on the open E string. So let's just show you that bit. So and then on the 3rd string, 2 0 pull off, 4th string on the 2nd fret. I'm hammering that 0 2 at the end. So that little line all together. So putting it with just the chords before, so okay, I'll do the whole line slow. From there you go into the main E blues one, but that ends on the 5/0 slide, so the there is one slight difference there at the end of here compared to the other page. There's this little 0 here, so I'll play you that nice and slow. So I'm just plucking that 3rd string at the end there. I'll play that line one more time. Okay, so now we're going to a B7. So if you play, I'll just show you what a B7 is, this chord here. So we did the B7 sharp 9, which is that. If you take your little finger off, and you're going to be using this little finger on the 1st string like that to play these couple of notes. Okay, so I want you to play the little finger on the 3rd fret there on that 1st string. So you play the root, and then I'm pinching all 5 of them strings, so I've got a thumb and all 4 fingers there. So you got all of them, and then you move your little finger down to the 2, and then you take it off, and then you play the 2 there. So your thumb's going to be gravitating on this 5th string, and these fingers are going to be on the first 4 strings. So and then from the 3 there. So and then you'll see this little 3 bend that we did before. So you got so again. Then we go back to the A, which is the same as before. It's like the last bit of the A, so it goes. So that's exactly the same as what you've just learnt. And then the very end, we're going to do one little lot of the E minor. Okay, so one lot of that. And then here we got both E strings, the 6th and the 1st string. So 0, and then hit them both on the 4s, the 5, 6, 7. So, and then we're going to end on a B7 sharp 9. So, and have a little pause and then hit the chord. So I'll play the last line. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to listen to it again in full, just take it back to the start of the video and give it a little listen. And I would just learn it in little sections till you get each one perfect, and then start putting them together. So even if in the first week you get the first line done, and then after 2 weeks you get the 2nd or the 3rd all together, and just work on it. Just treat it as, if you find this difficult, you could treat it as just a bit of a long-term project that might take you a couple of months before you're comfortable. But I think a lot of guitarists, they would love to sit there and just do a little bluesy things where they're playing the bass and a bit of a lead line at the same time. So I think it is good fun. It's good fun. I worked it out before. I just thought, right, how can I make this into a 12-bar blues? And it was fun just sitting there and playing the bass and the lead, and I did enjoy it. So hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know what you think, comment, and just get in touch. If you fancy a free live guitar lesson, I do have certain deals going on. So if you want to get in touch on my website, dmcguitartuition.com, don't hesitate to do that. Okay, see you on the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.